Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Gore, I want to start with you because it's been reported that this administration has conducted loyalty tests for individuals who are seeking jobs in government, and that those people who are not deemed as loyal are purged, and that there's retribution against those people who are believed to have been disloyal to the president. Now, if confirmed, you would oversee one of the largest U.S. posts abroad. You would manage a team of career personnel. Do you commit to not pursuing retribution or retaliation against anyone under your purview across the government for their personal or political beliefs?
Senator, thank you for your question, and I enjoyed our meeting yesterday. I do commit to that. Not only do I commit to that, in fact, the State Department is uniquely positioned, and we have some incredible talent in the Foreign Service. And that is a unique skill that they bring over many decades of service there. We do not have that across every other department. The Foreign Service is uniquely positioned to bring that expertise to our posts, to our missions, to our embassies. And so I very much look forward to working with those careers and enhancing, the America First agenda abroad with them.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that response. One of the things we talked about in our meeting yesterday was India's reaction to tariffs on their buying oil from Russia, which helps to fuel the war in Ukraine. And given that China is the world's largest purchaser of Russian oil, how will you explain the distinction to the Indians about why they have been spared the same kind of tariff treatment from the administration?
So 3 points, Senator, on that. We're actively negotiating with the Indians right now. In fact, the president has invited their commerce and their trade ministers to come visit us next week, and they'll be meeting with Ambassador Greer here in Washington. Part of that will include a hopeful deal. We're not that far apart right now on a deal. In fact, they're negotiating the nitty-gritty of a deal. Secondly, look, we hold our friends to a different standard. Frankly, we expect more from India than we do sometimes from other nations. I do think it will get resolved over the next few weeks. And finally, we commend you and the chairman. You're both co-sponsors of Senator Lindsey Graham's bill, which seeks to impose 500% tariffs. So the president has imposed 25% tariffs. The bill that almost every single member of this committee is a co-sponsor of goes much higher. So I think we're all in agreement on that.
Well, I certainly agree with that, and I hope that you will encourage that we treat China in the same way as we treat India, given what they're doing to fund Russia's war machine.
No, not only that, Senator, but as you know with the president, he is very much open to that. He's spoken about that. In fact, he's encouraging our European allies to do the same, and so I think we are on the same page.
Thank you. Mr. Veprek, did I understand you to say in your opening statement that you believe the cause of migration is the refugee and asylum system that we have in the United States and in other countries?
Senator, thank you very much for the opportunity to address that. In my view, one of the biggest root causes of mass and illegal migration, the phenomenon we're seeing around the world, is the current migration regime, that is to say the framework of international agreements and norms that was built after the Second World War for a completely different world. We live in a different world now with quick international travel, rapid international communications. It's easier for people to retain their connections back home. It's not like people have to migrate home. And so now we have a system where it is possible for people who are seeking to migrate for economic purposes to exploit the current system of refugee and asylum protection, not just in the United States, but in other countries around the world. We hear from some of our other partners that they perceive this same problem. And so, if confirmed, one of the things I would want to work on is working with them to try and reform the system.
But you do understand that the root causes of migration are in most cases famine, starvation, climate change, war, conflict in all its forms, drug cartels, violence, that's what drives refugee populations to look for asylum and to try and take advantage of opportunities that may allow them to get away from those kinds of disasters. You do understand that, I assume.
Senator, thanks for the opportunity to address this a little further. For migration writ large, I think there are as many different motivations as there are migrants in the world. Everybody has his own reason for wanting to leave his home country and move to another. Now, for refugees, we're talking about a narrower set of motivations. The definition of refugee is set in our law and is set in certain international instruments.
I'm not asking you about the legal explanation for refugees. I'm asking you about whether you understand the root causes that force people to leave their homes. I have had an opportunity to meet with many refugees, not only in the United States, but around the world. And what I hear consistently from them is that they want to go home. The reason they have fled is because they're facing violence at home, because they're facing starvation, because they have no economic opportunities and can't support their families. That's the question that I'm asking you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator